Have you been part of a meeting which is just so boring? Everyone who's speaking or presenting just doesn't capture you or your attention. Most people in the meeting are checked out, doing something else. Most people are not even engaged. Most of the meetings are run that way. But there are few meetings that are run really well. So, an ideal team meeting has 5 components. As we lead into this 21st century, we are no longer in this industrial age where there is top-down hierarchy, there's more labor-oriented work, it's more intellectual work. And so our meetings also need to change, especially when you're working remote. We have to adapt as leaders as to how we run our meetings. Remember, every one of the people in your team who is chosen to be present in that meeting is giving up part of their life to that meeting. So it's very important for us to be very intentional, run the meeting well. So let's look at 5 important characteristics if we take into account that we can run a really, really good meeting. So what is that? So an ideal meeting has some sort of a warm-up routine. Typically meetings start, there's no warm-up, there's no grounding, there is no call to action that says we're all in this together, let us do this practice of maybe deep breathing or meditation or any of that routine that actually brings you into the meeting. People just dial in or are just brought into the room, they are part of the meeting, it's just boring, right? But if you have a routine that starts with a warm-up, it also grounds people in saying, hey, I'm getting into this meeting. That's important, that I'm going to be there fully present. I'm not going to look at my mobile phone because I have chosen to be at that meeting. I have verified what is the agenda, and I'm only attending this meeting if I can contribute or I can learn something from this meeting. Choosing to be present 100% in that meeting, focusing on who the speaker is, what are they trying to say, understanding, questioning, being engaged is very important. If you're dialed into a meeting and if you have your video off, it's okay sometimes when you have an exception, you have to take care of your family members. But if you're dialed in, turn your video on. You can connect. People are looking at you. They can look at real person behind the screen. If you're in the meeting room and just checking your mobile phone, that's just too bad. Just too bad. Maybe a routine that says we're all going to put our mobile phones in the center of the table. Some routine that grounds you. Some routine that you kick off so that the body is present, the mind is present, is very important. So a warm-up is very important, right? To get a sense of focus. Second, a look back. Third is a look forward. Fourth is some sort of appreciation, acknowledgements, and apologies, right? And fifth is inspiration. So these are the 5 parts, but let's look at number 2 in detail. Looking back. This is an honest reflection of what happened from the last time we met till now. What were our accomplishments? What is it that we failed terribly, but we learned something? So there are learnings. Right? So looking back is basically celebrating wins. Celebrating the people who are behind those wins. Remember, this is your time to call out certain specific projects that people have gone above and beyond. Acknowledge the work. It comes under acknowledgement as well, but looking back, there's a lot of wins, there's a lot of learnings. So sharing that as to what happened is very important. So look back. And as leaders, we need to get really good at reflection. We need to get really good at reflection. We need to get good, so good at it so that we can get better. We rarely take time, we rarely pause to reflect. But that's an important skill. But now if we make this an ideal meeting, a daily routine that we reflect on what happened and what we need to do, there's feedback coming in from last meeting till now, and that's important to reflect on it. So looking back is an important thing. Also, this is the time to get feedback, right? Looking back, there might be feedback coming in. Looking forward, this is the goal, this is where we're going. right? So these are the goals that we are setting for ourselves, the challenges that are in front of us. It's very important to lay the picture correctly as to what we are doing, why are we doing it, what are the decisions that are being made, what's coming up, what is it that they should be looking forward to. So that's looking forward, covering the goals, right? Warm up, looking back, looking forward. What's next? It's the 3 A's: appreciation, acknowledgements, and apologies. Publicly, when you acknowledge someone and appreciate them, that's the most important thing. Remember, folks are working really hard, especially if they're working remote. You don't know how much work that has gone into it. They've spent hours and hours of energy doing that project. This is the time when you step up, lead by example, and appreciate the person personally. Public appreciation is very important. Not just that, you get other people to step up and say, hey, if anyone wants to express gratitude, appreciation, or even an apology. If you apologize in front of everyone about a mistake that you did, that builds credibility, that builds trust, that builds spontaneity. People will feel that you are genuine. So appreciation, acknowledgement, apologies, right? Get the people engaged in this. A lot of feeling, a lot of emotion will come out. So that's why it's important for us to create that safe space, but have this as a routine where we do this. And finally, the 5th one, inspiration. Remember, all of this that you're doing, you want to make the meeting fun. You want to end it with something that people can be inspired. It could be words of inspiration, it could be a poem, it could be a song that's uplifting, it could be anything. It could be an act of kindness, it could be a play of guitar, it could be of any musical instrument, something that makes the situation fun. You don't want to just have meetings after meetings after meetings where there's no sense of fun. There's no sense of inspiration. There's no sense of like looking forward to something big or something that uplifts people, right? If we do these 5 things, right? Warming up, looking back, looking forward, appreciation, acknowledgements, and apologies, and finally inspiration, then we have done our job. You can do this in as quickly as 15 minutes as well. But if you have a long meeting, you definitely want to cover this, especially in an ideal team meeting. There are a few bonus points. If you develop some sort of a team ritual where, if someone does something, they get the ovation, or they get like a clap, or they get like a dragon. I used to do this in my class, a dragon warm up, hand rub, or anything that's a ritual. When someone does great, the team just does that, right? When I was in college, we used to all sing and dance on a specific song called Goldmark. We used to just whenever something good happened, or whenever something, we were depressed, we just get in that rhythm, we all start dancing. Or something like that. In my previous team, we used to play this song, or the winning song, or something, that's uplifting. So developing team rituals is an important one. So that when it happens, or when someone shares something good and there's a team that acknowledges it, it powers themselves. You as leaders can lead. Once we can lead this, but enabling other team members to lead the team meeting is also a great idea. Also, parts of those meetings could be led by other people. So empowering your team members to lead is another great bonus point. And remember, people will be appreciative. People would have an apology when they feel safe, right? When they feel that they can be vulnerable, that they will not be judged. They'll not be blamed. Even in the retrospect, do not blame the people, blame the gaps, attack the problem, not the people. Go ruthless on the problem, but not the people. Think about the system in which the people who made those issues, how can you make the system better? How can you make the container better so that it doesn't leak? So create a safe space, no judgment, no blame. Attack the problem, not the people. When you do that repeatedly, people will be more open, they'll be more vulnerable. You can actually take them for face value, they'll take you for face value. This is the biggest problem right now. People don't really trust each other in the initial phase, even in the long phase. So building that trust is important. And you do that with some intimate conversations, right? About what the person wants to do. You have a deep compassion for where they want to go. You make the conversation a dialogue, not just a monologue of you just saying things in the meeting, right? It's just like you there, you want to command, and control, and you want them to turn on the video. That's not the point. The point is that you want to see them, you want to really connect with them. But when they do turn on the video, you want to acknowledge them, right? Trust is a consistency over time, as Jeff Weiner puts it. Building that trust requires intimate understanding of the team members, making sure it's a dialogue, getting other people in the team to lead, amplifying their work, making them thought leaders will make this whole inclusive. There are ideas that you didn't think about. Get other people to share. Improvise on all of this with inclusive ideas from people, and then have a clear intention. When you just run the meeting, you need to have a clear agenda. These are the intention, this is the format, or some clear guidance, so that it's not just run in a haphazard way. And then when you run the meeting, you run it like the best in class meeting. And every single time, people look forward to your meeting. They look forward to either being inspired. They look forward to understanding what's going on. They look forward to connecting with you. Use meetings as the biggest blessing, but we can do it if we are intentional. And we all can run and build great meeting spots. Good luck with setting up the meetings. And let me know in comments below if you found some of these tips useful. If you used it, then I'll be the most happiest. But if you have better ideas to make this better, then I want to hear from you. So send that in the comment and let me know what you found useful and what you found, not that good. That's okay. Let me know. We will improve, right? Thank you. Have great meetings going forward. Thanks.